feeds Pelosi. Off the wall to Harris. Harris has got Pelosi. Harris to Pelosi. Shot. He scores! Chris Pelosi!
And Poitras trying to drive in on that right wing side. Poitras in. Scores! Matt Poitras in overtime.
Millis took it right off his stick. Sends one through. They score! First career goal for the Bruins draft pick, Dom.Hockey Millis. Back to the blue line. Cowan has it, looking for the return feed. Cowan lets it go back to the point. Shot! Score!
Those were without all of their World Junior guys for that against Simon Fraser. BC played him Sunday. Good pass ahead. There's Yelvik. He scores! Didn't need an exhibition.
Will come up with it. Ross Schwab flips it out to center. Now McKinney gets chased with Harrison. Harrison to the backhand. Score! A deft touch.
Watch out. Nelson steals. Walks in. Scores! 6-2. Jackson Nelson has the hat trick.
Crosby line. Dulowitz at that. Now he's going to waltz it.
I think you're on mute, Chris. Can't hear you. Now I can.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Did you hear anything of what I was saying?
No.
All right. Well, folks, welcome into another episode of Dom.Hockey.
Lost you again. You must have a loose connection.
Microphone better?
Now I can hear you.
All righty. We'll stick with this one then. This one seems to be working. This microphone is brought to you by our friends over at Ice Shaker. Dom, is your equipment working, and how are you tonight?
It better be working. I just walked in the door like 5 minutes ago, so I haven't had a chance to test anything.
We had a little bit of audio issues on your end right when you first jumped on, but we got it all sorted. I don't know what happened. Anyways, I'm still good though, right? You can still hear me?
Yeah.
All righty. How was your Monday? Because we just did What's Brewing last night. I can't ask how your whole week was. Before we dive into the prospects here, how was your Monday?
It was all right. I had to make a quick trip to Brantford and then back. I had, like I said, just walked in the door.
So it's been an interesting Monday, we'll say. I mean, first Monday of getting back to regularity in the new year. So what else can you expect? Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. We do have some sad news to start with. The Bruins announced that former Bruin, former number one pick, Dwight Foster, passed away today at the age of 67. So our condolences to the Foster family and to Bruins Nation.
Yeah, I actually did not catch that news. I've had a heck of a day myself while at work, so I didn't catch that. So I appreciate you mentioning that, and definitely being a solemn way to start. But today is our big prospect show. We have quite a few folks who are back in action, and we've taken a couple additional steps to hopefully smooth out some of the video transition stuff that we try to bring to you. So hopefully that goes a little bit more smooth on tonight's episode. But Dom, where do you want to start?
Let's start with Jonathan Mirenberg, because I was texting with his mom the other day. He's back on the ice. He's in full practice now after missing 30 games to start the season. It's only a 52-game schedule, so he's missed over half the season. Still not in game shape, but working to get there. Excuse me. He's excited to be back on the ice. I'm excited to see him play and see how he rebounds from this injury. I believe we mentioned it on the last show or 2 shows ago. His team is on the verge of missing the playoffs and being in the relegation round, which means that his team will be demoted for next year, won't be in the Swedish Hockey League. They'll be playing down a level. And that, depending on the Bruins and how he rebounds from this injury, could speed up his transition to North America, because I'm sure the Bruins don't want him going down a level.
So can you just real quick, before we dive into the players who played games and we got on that track, just because we're talking about Murenberg right now, you mentioned the relegation. How does that change his track to the NHL given the transfer agreement?
It doesn't. It doesn't change it at all. The Bruins are going to have to be willing to pay to get him out of his deal in Sweden and bring him over. And it's all going to depend on him and how he rebounds from this injury. Unfortunately, I'm bound to keep my mouth shut and not allowed to discuss what the injury was. And I respect their wishes, and we'll just leave it at that.
Nope, I would never ask you to divulge information that that you don't feel comfortable putting out there. If it gets out by other means, we can always say it was not us. So I know that you have a great relationship with the family, and the last thing we want to do is jeopardize that for us or anybody. So we do appreciate their information, their insight, and their communication, really, in keeping us up to date. Hopefully, maybe one day we can get Jonathan on the show and we can talk to him about his rehab, and that would be a nice goal for us. So
actually, I've been working on that, and just does not want to do it while he's out with an injury.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. You want to focus on getting back to your craft, and some players that's the time they want to do it. Other players, it's totally not the time. So that's we try to be nothing if not flexible. So, but glad to hear he's back on the ice, doing better. I mean, it sounds like his spirits have been high throughout this endeavor, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on the ice. I know it'll be limited action, but man, if that kid hasn't missed a beat stepping back on the ice, I really want them to get him over here. Yeah,
exactly.
So, and I know Casper Nason is still out of action because the team just doesn't start back until the end of the week, right?
Next week. January 10th is their first game. So this weekend, he's back on the ice.
All right. Well, where do you want to start? My local area, UMass?
Well, we'll start with Don's Los Melis then, because I know he's one of your favorites. So UMass was taking part in the, I don't know why, but they were taking part in the Desert Hockey Classic in good old Tempe, Arizona, of all places. And yes, it was at Mullet Arena, former home of the Arizona Coyotes. So they played Friday night and Saturday night. So Friday they they lost 4-2 to Cornell, and on Saturday they whipped Robert Morris 8-0. Now, obviously, everybody knows Cornell is Ryan Walsh's team. We'll get to him a little bit later. Los Melis didn't put up any points in the first game, was a -2. And the good thing, he was 12 for 19 on the faceoffs. His faceoff numbers are really getting good. They're getting high. They're getting better. So we're seeing some improvement on there. And on Saturday, in the 8-0 game, 2 assists. And this guy is just becoming an assist machine. He's 3 goals, 14 assists in 19 games this season. I'm a little disappointed in the goal production because he is capable of scoring, but you know what? He's helping out the team defensively, and he's helping them up by setting up goals. So I'm more than satisfied with him.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the guy has the capabilities of being a solid playmaker, and yes, he can score goals as you mentioned, but as long as he's producing points, helping players on his team, I mean, it's a similar conversation to what we have with David Pastrnak. Obviously, not the same level. I'm not trying to say he is David Pastrnak,
Right.
but as long as he's partaking in the point production, that is what you are ultimately looking for.
Exactly.
I'm not going to nitpick whether it's a goal or an assist, especially for someone of his age, still developing and moving around from various leagues over the course of their young career. Like, your teammates are constantly changing at that level, and so just the fact that you're consistent in the production, that's the number one key. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and we're seeing improvement in him.
Absolutely.
Confidence in holding on to the puck more. Is getting better and better all the time defensively. He's a +4 on the season, so it's not like he's bad, but he's getting better. And like I said, the faceoffs, the winning percentage is getting better by the game.
Yeah, and that's crucial because ultimately they're showing right now what happens when they struggle down the middle. So it'll be nice to get a few more added center depth in their
Yeah.
organization over the next couple of years. So
next up we have Boston College, which is Oscar Yelvik, Andre Gasso, and Dean Letourneau. They are also off. Will return back to the ice this coming weekend. Curious to see how Andre Gasso responds because he's been on fire lately. Goal scoring machine actually lately. He has in his last 10 games 7 goals and 1 assist. So he's on fire. I want to see if that continues in the second half. I'm curious to see Oscar Yelvik, whether they plan on keeping him on the wing, where I have stressed he is much better and more productive from the wing, or whether they decide to try him back in the middle. And, of course, Dean Letourneau, I like to see in the second half, maybe his ice time climb up a little bit. Again, I'm not concerned with production with him. It's just getting used to the college game and playing against better competition, which is what he's doing.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are constantly asking about Dean Letourneau, and I guess my best piece of advice when it comes to Dean Letourneau is don't worry about him for the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you hear his numbers, his statistics, and they're not what you're expecting, you're going to get upset over really a nothing piece of information there. I've seen it countless times. I saw someone a couple weeks ago calling him a bust because he's not producing at Boston College, and it's like this isn't a year for him to put up numbers. It's just
he's averaging less than 10 minutes a game.
Right. He's averaging what, Cole Koepke minutes?
Sometimes he gets 10, sometimes he's at 9.
He's not there to produce points this year.
No, his turn will be next year.
Oh, yeah. And they have some good guys coming off that roster. I can't even name all of them, but, it's
a loaded team, a really loaded team.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it. I really, really very much enjoy what we've seen from him and what he continues to bring to the table. He's just trying to get better, and that's all you're looking for him to do, and he is. That's it. It's that simple. It really, really is that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Moving on to Minnesota and Beckett Hendrickson. I will say that this weekend he was moved up to the top line. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about it. When he's moved up, he's able to produce.
Yep.
He's been stuck on the third line left wing, providing energy, solid defensively, and all the other things, with the exception of production. So he was moved up. They won 6-2 on Friday against Mercyhurst. He didn't produce a point, but he did get 16 minutes of ice time when he's averaging 11:59 or 12 minutes a game. But on Saturday, he was on the top line. They won 5-2 and averaged 15 and a half or just over 15 and a half minutes of ice time. And he did score his third goal of the season, and I believe you have that one, Chris.
We do, yes. And as I pull that up, I want to pull up Curious Browser's comment about Dean Letourneau real quick, just to put that to bed. Adds, if Dean was putting up those goals, many would be demanding for him to get called up. Perhaps we'll see that next year. I presume he's talking about the point scoring, and it's as unfair as it is ignorant. So just to finalize the comments there, as we get this clip pulled up, do you want to point out where what we've got going on here?
That's Hendrickson on the far end, close to the blue line in the yellow. He's going to see that. I think the puck actually hits Hendrickson here. And he sees that his teammate is going to get the puck, and Hendrickson flies the zone, and the video will say the rest.
So right there, I mean, he's got a clear breakaway right there.
Yeah.
Clean, clear-cut breakaway. Love to see. I mean, that's vision right there. Like you said, he sees that his teammate's going to possess the puck. And so he looks ahead and says, where do I need to be to get a good opportunity? And he just flies the zone. Clear cut past him. You can see it right there.
You can see it better from this angle. It shows it a lot better.
Backed it up a little further than I meant to there, but right.
I'm sure the puck hits him. So.
But you can also see that he realizes he's behind all of the defenders.
Yeah, and he puts himself in position to receive the pass.
And there's no one but his teammate right here. I'm not sure who that is next to him, but he's the only one who's going to get to that puck. And he just beeline. It's a straight line, and the defense doesn't even see him. They're not even paying attention to him. He gets the pass and right in on the breakaway, and just. That's a solid move around the goaltender.
Dekes him out of his jockstrap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a heck of a goal right there. You love to see it. So, and what's nice is he's showing that vision, and he's, it's there. I don't know how else to say it other than the vision is there, and that's one of the hardest things to teach. You can't teach seeing it. We
should say, just in case anybody's questioning it, we do have permission from Dom.Hockey to use their video as highlights.
Yes, we do. Check them out, flowhockey.com. There's tons of games. I can't even name every single league there, but you want to catch your Providence Bruins. Court, if you're watching, we'll connect on that. There was a comment that he had made last time he jumped on with us. So, but yeah, check them out, flowhockey.com. Can't thank them enough for the permissions to show these videos to you and really break down what we're seeing from these prospects. So was there anything else that we had on Hendrickson?
No, that should, progressing like he should. His production isn't where I'd like it to see it. But like I said, when he moves up and plays with, the top line guys, he puts up points. So that's a good sign. Right now, He's learning on the third line how to be a college player. Remember, he's a freshman. Learning the other parts of the game, and they're coming along well.
Oh, yeah. You know who else is coming along well as part of the college game?
Ty Gallagher. I
love this kid. I love the fight in this kid. I really hope he gets a call to Providence as early as this year, because I guess you said that I thought he had one more year in college, but I guess the determination is this is his final year.
No, this is his graduate year.
So I know, if I'm not mistaken, they lost the first game of their weekend.
Yes, 5-1. They got blown out. But Ty was a -2, still averaging over 23 minutes a game, playing top pair. He led all shooters, both sides, with 4 shots on goal, and still leads Colorado in scoring.
Yeah.
I
love that stat right there. Just the fact that he's the one. I still want to know, and hopefully he's another one that I'd love to target to try to get on sometime. I would love to get the perspectives of what the hell happened last year. But this is the bounce back season that we talked about that he needed to have.
Exactly. And, I want to get to the second game because we have a highlight of that, what he did there. They lost again, 3-2. Gallagher had an assist on a goal, 3 shots on net, averaging over 23 minutes. Again, playing on the top pair, all situations. But, watching the Boston Bruins, we see guys like Lowry and McAvoy as 2 offensive defensemen having trouble keeping the puck in the zone. Watch what Gallagher does on this goal, not once, but twice. Now, before you play it, Chris, I got to say that the announcer is naming the wrong player. Ty Gallagher is number 6 in this replay, and it is not Ty Gallagher. I forget who the announcer says it is, but that's at the bottom of your screen, at the blue line there, number 6, that's Ty Gallagher.
Right down here. And actually, I don't have audio on for any of the clips, so the announcer, we won't hear him. But real quick, before I get it going, Jason asks if he could be a future power play specialist or more. I really want to see him in Providence before I really say where he could go. But based on what he's doing in college, he could absolutely top out as a middle pair. I think a true, maybe 3 or 4 guy if he continues on the pace that he's on. If his trajectory continues,
I will say if he can do this 5-on-5, he can certainly do it on the power play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, he's down here. He's the one that you see with the number 6 in white. And we will cue this up because
he was on the left side. Hold on. No, he's
right down here.
Yeah. I'm thinking of another.
Should I slow it down a little bit? Would that help for this one? All right. I'll back it up a little bit here. So the puck we've got right here, it's headed towards the outside part to the neutral zone.
Yeah, he just kept it in there. Now, look at his partner. Stop it. Go back, Chris. When his partner drops it to him, like right about here, what kind of a bad spot Gallagher is in. Not only does he keep it in, he finds his teammate.
And in one motion, he doesn't stop it, and he just flicks it right back in to the
right
open
on the
guy.
stick.
Right on the stick, middle of the ice for a great shot. And you'll notice that right when the shot is taken, you've got 2 defenders plus another forward for your team right in front of the goaltender. Very good screenshot, not to mention the guy who's trying to block the shot, and that shot just finds its way to the back of the net because it's just, his vision allows for such a good shot to be taken by his teammate. And no, that's not Logan Cooley. I'm curious to see just how much of that puck the goalie saw in that. It'll cycle through one more time here.
Yeah, like he kept it in both times. He's the one who got it over to his partner.
Yeah, and as Curious is mentioning in the comments, he kept the stick position where it had to be, and he moved accordingly. So, yeah. I mean, it's, again, you ask if he is a power play specialist or if he can be more than that. I mean, again, not based on this one play. I want to make that clear, but it's a consistent ability to do things like this that will allow him to elevate his game to be more than just a niche player.
Exactly.
I'm so glad we're seeing the bounce back season from him, though. I mean, I said to you last year going into development camp, I really like what this kid can do. And then he had the crap season that he had.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fight in this dog. So
I've been praising him since his draft, since he was drafted.
And I still want to remind people, 7th round draft pick.
Yep.
7th round draft pick. Patience.
That's exactly the type of player you want to take a chance on.
And you know what? Again, with the patience factor, we're going to dive into Providence a lot more later, but this is what can happen when you have patience with a player before calling him up too soon, getting him in the AHL too soon. These are the kinds of things that they can perfect at lower levels. So, and then Curious adds on, he's got great balance on ice to be able to do that. Yeah, his skating is pretty solid. I don't remember exactly where you rated his skating, but it's pretty damn good.
Well, I'm working on my rankings, so they'll be out in a couple of months.
All righty, perfect. But I think that's enough on Ty Gallagher. I could go on about this kid's game for a while, but I know we have to get to Quinnipiac and Chris Pelosi and Elliot Groenwald because everybody wants to hear about Groenwald now.
Well, yeah, but it's Pelosi who's on fire. It's a three-game goal streak. So they defeated Harbor 3-2 in overtime. And who else but Pelosi with the game winner in typical Chris Pelosi style. I think last week we showed his goal and what typical Chris Pelosi style is. And I think we've got this one as well, do we not?
We do, yes. Do you want me to play this one at half speed?
Yeah, because you really see him.
All right, let me just make that adjustment here to 50% speed. So this looks like it's coming out of a scrum from in front of the net.
Yeah.
And we'll let this proceed through. And he finds that. I presume there's another angle of it to follow.
I can't recall if there is or not. But that's what he does. He goes to the net and he scores dirty goals.
There's what? Two defenders and the goaltender and just him.
Yeah, but he gets it underneath the defenseman.
Oh,
not
yeah.
The goaltender. That's
it's a 1-on-3.
Yeah.
And it clangs it off the post and gets it right under the defender's arm. And this is in overtime.
Yeah, this is overtime.
So clutch play in a clutch moment. Yeah.
But that's Chris Pelosi. Now, on Saturday, they lost 5-1 to Northeastern, and Pelosi scored with 1:16 remaining. I don't know. Do we have the highlight of that one?
I believe so. Yes, I got it right here.
Now, this is a different way he can score. But the thing is, it's like a minute left in the hockey game. You're losing 5-0, and he doesn't give up.
Now, do you want this one at half speed as well?
Yeah, it's better at half speed.
Okay.
So
Where
that's
do you want people to
Pelosi.
focus?
Pelosi is on that's Pelosi with the puck, is it not? I can't remember.
Let's let it play through here.
Or no, I think that's him at the wall. He gets the puck there at the wall.
Over here at the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's solid.
Sorry, that's him that was behind it. Gets spun around, fires it, and into the net. And, like I said, that was him in front of the net. He goes over, picks it up on the dot, spins, and fires it in.
And I love how he just skates away calm, like, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. 5-0 at that point with, I don't know, just over a minute left. Was a power play goal. But still, you take
But to find that spot, that went short side.
Yeah, and to have the I guess I don't know what you want to call it. To actually at that point in the game being down 5-0, the will to go over and pick up that puck and fire it. Most guys would have just, what, the game's over. I don't care.
Yeah, no, this kid's he's got fight in him.
Yeah. So, 3 shots on goal on Friday night, was a +1, 5 for 13 on the faceoffs. Wasn't impressed with him on the dot. Grongwald really did not have a good game, but surprisingly, he finishes a +1 with 4 shots on net and just over 20 minutes in ice time.
I love the fact that he's getting 20 minutes of ice time. Can I just throw that out there?
Yeah, like he was on Saturday was a little bit less at 18 and a half. It was a -1. But you know what? I believe he's still 18 years old.
Yeah.
Playing college hockey.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Not gonna complain. If he's logging more than 15 minutes and in any given night, I'm thrilled. As a freshman who's 18 years old, this is his first season in college. Like, you gotta enjoy seeing that.
Yeah. So let's move on to Ryan Walsh with Cornell. As mentioned, they were in the Desert Hockey Classic as well, and they beat UMass on Friday night 4-2. They were down 1-0 until Ryan Walsh. I keep wanting to say Riley Walsh. Ryan Walsh scored his 6th of the season to bring Cornell even. The thing is here, before you play the goal, Chris, Riley Walsh was thinking defense. And I'm going by memory here on the goal. He was outside the UMass zone, skates up the wall on the right wing side, keeps the puck in, brings it into the circle, and rifles the goal home right from the dot. If I'm remembering correctly, that's how it plays out. So
yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, this stick that's way over here coming in off the blue line, I think that's him.
That's him.
And so I got this one queued up at half speed as well. So if you keep an eye on that stick.
That's his 2 defensemen in front of him.
That's the funny part is
he's
behind his defenseman, but he pinches to the wall. You can see the puck gets rimmed around. He keeps it in the zone here, possesses it when he sees there's nobody in front of him, takes it towards the net and finds the spot, picks it, and goes for it.
That was a perfect shot, too. Well executed.
I mean, when you're down 1-0, that's the kind of play that can keep you in the game or turn it around. So
yeah. Now, when you play it at full speed, you don't notice all of what just happened.
Yeah, at full speed, you just see him kind of pinching, and I mean, it's the same. It's just it's less impressive when you look at it in full speed compared to an NHL player because that's what you kind of expect them to do.
Yeah. But anybody watching that at full speed wouldn't even think about him being outside the offensive zone and his two defensemen in front of him.
Right. You'd be thinking he's coming off from a line or coming off onto the ice off of a line change or something, but
yeah,
he wasn't. He wasn't. So, oh man. Let's see. What else do we have? Any other thoughts on Walsh?
I just love the player. Leads the team in scoring, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in 12 games. I love that he's got 12 minutes in penalty minutes too. These aren't just stick infractions. He's a +2, very solid defensively, as you just saw there. He thinks defense and then moves to offense. So I don't want to say he's a defense first centerman, but he understands his responsibilities and he looks after that.
I was going to say, you got to be careful how you word that because immediately people are going to go, Bergeron.
No. He understands his responsibilities. And he can transition to offense like we just saw very, very quickly. So I love how he's coming along. No complaints.
Oh, yeah. Now, when we talk about complaints, we've had our fair share about the next player.
Mason Langenbrunner?
Yeah.
You know what? I had him pegged for 2 goals on the season. He's got 3. So...
well, that's his FU, Dom.
Yeah, that's his FU, but he's got no assists. So,
how many assists did you have him pegged for? I want to say it was like 11 or something, if I remember.
I think it was correctly. No, 9. 2 goals, 9 assists.
Sorry, so it was 11 points total.
he's on pace for 10 goals and no assists. So, So. Harvard's the team that lost to Quinnipiac on Wednesday, 3-2 in overtime. Look, another guy playing as the 7th defenseman. The difference between Langenbrunner and Gallagher last season is that while Gallagher was being limited to 5 minutes a night, Gallagher is still getting 10, sometimes 15.
You mean Langenbrunner?
Or Langenbrunner as the 7th defenseman. So in the loss on Wednesday, Langenbrunner actually scored. And it was a beautiful shot from the left point that went all the way through. I believe we have this one, Chris.
We do, yeah. I was just looking at it, though, because when I pulled it up, he's on the follow-through already, and I didn't see another angle afterwards. But when I slow it down, it hasn't beat the goaltender yet.
No, he's down on one knee. He was down on one knee and let her rip from the
point there. I mean, you can see that. I mean, he had some help from the guys in front, but clearly a heck of a shot on the play. But it's not going to be enough. I really I don't see a contract from the Bruins in his future.
Yeah, neither do I. And on Saturday, they were blown out by Connecticut, 7-3. Even with the score 7-3, him playing 14 minutes, 13:57 to be exact, finished with an even plus minus. So He's good defensively. I'll give him that, but I don't unless the Bruins are giving him a contract because he's Jamie Langenbrunner's kid. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I mean, I know you said he's a good defensive defenseman. Kevin has joined, so hello to you, Kevin, as well.
Hi, Kevin.
Welcome in tonight. I don't see it. Even if you want to try and say, oh, he's a stay-at-home defenseman, sure, I'll grant you that, fine. But they have better stay-at-home defensemen, that they can work with and invest their time and resources into. I'd rather see them invest the resources into bringing Jonathan Mirenberg over here when you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather take the long shot, even if Mirenberg missed this entire season and you still didn't know what you were getting. I'd rather take the gamble on Mirenberg than offer Langenbrunner the contract.
Exactly. I would too.
There's that much of a gap between them. So
let's go to our buddy Craig Eagle's favorite, Loke Johansson with the Moncton Wildcats of the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League.
Okay.
3 games this week. They won their 6th, 7th, and 8th in a row. Started Wednesday, I believe, with a 5-1 win over Charlottetown on New Year's Eve. Johansson started off the Moncton's scoring with a breakout pass, and then another pass later. It was in the back of the Charlottetown net. Nothing fancy, just Loke keeping it simple, doing what he's capable of doing, and making a breakout pass. I believe we have a small highlight of that one, Chris.
We do, yeah. And that one, I think, will play out at normal speed here. So we've got that queued up and ready to go. Do you want to let folks know which one is Johansson here?
He's out of the picture now. That's the defenseman going around the back of the net, and we'll feed it over to Johansson.
So we see that type of move all the time, playing from behind the net, just a little breakout pass to the right side, right back to the left for the breakaway. I mean, that's a perfect placement, though.
Yeah. Such a way Boston had players that could do that.
They do. They're just not doing it.
But that's a planned breakout. That's what Moncton does. And at that point, number 15, I forget who that is. If you play it again, you'll notice that his center, or the guy going down the middle, was going to take the pass, and he said to let it go.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Well, so right here, he's telling him let it go. You can see he lifts his stick and lets it go across.
Oh, yeah. Right there. There's that move. He thinks it's for him. And then he just quickly lets it go. Oh, that's great. And there had to have been some kind of communication there.
Oh yeah, he told him let it go.
So that's great vision, great awareness too, to let your teammate know that no, this pass isn't for you.
Yeah. So Friday night they blanked Halifax 3-0. Johansson had an assist on the game-winning goal, although he really didn't have to do much on that one either. It was a +1, 2 shots on net, and then last night they defeated Halifax again by a score of 5-1. So that's 8-1 over the 2 games. Johansson had zeros right across the board. We keep mentioning this. Offense was the thing the Bruins wanted him to work on the most, going down to the queue. He's got 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 games in 34 games. People say that's not bad for a rookie defenseman. playing in the queue. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's not good because Q defensemen put up more points than that. So I don't know where his offense is going to be. I would like to see him go back to the Q for another season next year because he's eligible.
Yeah, if he's eligible, I would like to see him take advantage. And I'm looking through. We have the game-winning goal highlight on Friday, but I'm noticing there's a hiccup in the video in the middle, right where Johansson's pass gets made. So really, we see the preceding part of the play, and then a freeze, and then the goal. But so we'll hold off on that particular highlight just because of that. But yeah, I mean, as long as he is eligible, which he is, I don't see the harm in him getting one more year. There really isn't any. And to your point, it's a little lower in the offensive production than what we'd like to see. And I'd be curious to see what kind of second season he would have.
Yeah. So next we'll jump to the USHL in Dubuque. They finished four games on the week.
You love to see it.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with Cole Spicer because New Year's Eve they won 5-4. Spicer had Spicer had 2 assists, and where Spicer has been centering the top line for most of the season, he was moved to the second line. Then he missed the next 2 games with an injury and came back Sunday night. And this time he played left wing as opposed to center, and again had 2 assists. So in the 2 games he played last week, he had 4 assists. Going back to the New Year's Eve game, Murillo had a goal with 3 shots on net, was a +1. And your friend Kostadinsky,
you sent me a couple videos of him too. So
yeah, but I don't think from the New Year's Eve game.
Let's see. No. Well, let's see. I have he sets up a goal on Tuesday, which Tuesday would have been New Year's Eve. So yeah,
unfortunately, I don't know why he wasn't credited with an assist on this one, and they still haven't adjusted the scoring. So unfortunately, I do this in the OHL a lot of times. They'll miss a point, and I'll send the video to the league, and then they change the scoring. But I don't know who to send it to in the USHL. But it's easy to spot Kostadinsky. He's the biggest guy on the ice. Looks like an elephant.
I mean, just right, you'd pan that way. Who's the one that's the biggest on the screen? He's way over here.
Yeah.
But he gets the puck through traffic on net.
Yeah.
And then it ricochets around a little bit, but right to his
team. They never had possession. So that's an assist. But they didn't give him one, so.
But they come out with it right there, and we'll see if we can get another angle. Maybe there's something from this angle that's about to come up that we missed as to why they didn't offer him the assist. See, he throws it on net. Is it? No.
No, it's like right there. It like trickles through. So
that's an assist. That's an assist in my book.
Yeah, if that was the NHL, he'd have 2.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you there, Dom. That's an assist in my book. And for someone like Kostadinsky, sucks to see him not get the point, but you know what? He's coachable enough. His attitude is correct. I don't think it'll faze him not getting the point.
Yeah, so that one was Friday against Youngstown. where they won 4-1. Like I said, Spicer didn't play. Morello didn't have a point, had 3 shots on goal, leading all skaters. On Saturday, they defeated Youngstown again by a score of 4-3. Spicer didn't play on that one. Kostadinsky scored his second of the season in that one with 2 shots on goal. Do we have that goal?
We have Konstantinsky's goal, and then I also have the Morello and Spicer highlights as well.
That's from Sunday, is it not?
Yes, I believe so. So we can do Konstantinsky's on Saturday real quick here. I have that one queued up.
So, again, look for the biggest guy on the ice. And remember, this is a defenseman.
Right in front of net.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me. Remember when Zdeno Chara made that pirouette move?
Yeah.
That Jack Edwards called.
Now it takes Kostadinsky 5 minutes to get to the bench.
Of course,
here, you can see it here. This is the defenseman standing in front of the net.
I will say this: if I'm that goaltender, I am glad he does not fall on me after this check.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised. I mean, if that's any other player, that's an illegal check to the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Bending over, he's barely under that. He's playing limbo right there, but he's got the goal, and that goal happened because they didn't credit him with the assist, so he made up for it. But if I'm this goalie, I'm glad that elephant didn't just fall on my head.
It was close, though.
Oh man, good for him though.
I love watching it at full speed because it's just. I don't know, man. I love watching him play. Just the awkwardness of him.
Like a gazelle learning to walk.
Yeah. So big. It's like sometimes he can look so awkward, but he makes plays.
And I give him credit, all the credit in the world. I know I've told you this story a zillion times. Andrew Johnson of Short Shift Pod, shout out to those guys over there. He and I were watching Konstantinsky a couple years ago at the development camp, and he was working one-on-one. I think it was directly with Adam McQuaid, and they were working on his skating, and he was working on his edge work and stopping, and we could just hear him talking to the coach, and you could see him make an attempt and then just look up and go like this, and it's just you can't help but root for this guy. Like, just a lovable lug kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Going out there trying to do whatever he can to help his team and just clearly plays because he loves the game and wants to help a team win. So I'm rooting for him. I really want to see him hit NHL ice. If he can play one game in the NHL, I will be happy.
Exactly. Just to hit somebody. That's all I wanted. Just to hit somebody.
What I will say is I don't want to be in the American Hockey League the year he's on Providence Bruins alongside Jackson Edward. Because holy crap.
You're going to pay a price. You're going to pay a price with those two.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's one way to put it. So, as I mentioned,
I don't know that we'll see them together in Providence because Kostadinsky's going to Boston College next year.
Oh, yeah. He'll be playing with Dean Letourneau.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure he's going to BC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's BU committed. So
it'll be fun. And you said we got one of the Spicer assists from Sunday, or both of them, or
I got the Morello goal and I got the Spicer second assist from Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was on New Year's Eve.
Which that Morello goal was a nice, as shout out Ian from Short Shift would call it, a nice sniper-rooney and cheese.
Yeah, I don't remember the goal, unfortunately, so you're going to have to play it.
I got it queued up right here. I'm putting it to half speed real quick, just because. So let's watch it in real time first, because you can see his teammates work the puck over to him. He is wide open, finds that far post, and snipes it.
Now I remember it. At one point, I think it was a show here in the highlight. He's down by the goal crease and moves to that ice. He recognizes what's happening with the play. That's him there, just by the goal crease.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's. You can see here, he's off screen, but he's down here, and he's skating his way up. You can see that he just hangs out at the dot, gets it. Wasn't a perfect pass, but cradles it and just snaps it.
The shot was perfect, though.
The shot, oh my God, was that perfect? And actually, I think if you, as you were mentioning,
let this play out, Chris.
Yeah, he's fading right here, fading up to the dot. You can see him re-enter the picture on the left. This is right where he gets the pass and holds it for just a second. And actually, I'm going to pause it for a second because if you notice in that pause, he makes the goaltender overcommit to the left. And that frees open that far post shot where he just snipes it right on in.
Posting in.
So, actually, do we have one?
Oh, this is Spicer setup. Watch this. Curls or backs up, draws somebody, and Spicer gets it. Oh no, this is.
It's just a different angle of the same one.
Yeah.
Because this, I think, this one here shows you at the very beginning of the play. Yeah, you can see where he is this entire time. He's down here in the corner. And he doesn't leave that corner. He's below the goal line, as you pointed out, when this play starts. And he hovers over there. He is totally forgotten in that play.
He loses everybody. He gets lost in coverage.
Oh, yeah. And then snipes it with that shot. So I know you were asking about the Spicer assist. So I've got that one ready.
I can't remember that one either. That was Tuesday night, man. How can I remember that?
It was the day after our last show. Come on. I don't even know what I had for breakfast this morning, so I'm with you. This was just a nice clean cut pass right over to get the assist on that. So it looks like a very basic play, but finds the guy who has the shot to take, coming across right here. Finds the guy who's wide open. He does his part, and then
what's sad about that is all 5 players on defense are on the one side of the ice.
Yeah, he finds the forgotten man. You know, half the credit goes to the guy for getting open, and the other half goes to him for finding it. A third and a third, because a third goes to him for actually shooting it, and getting it in. So, I think that's where we're at for the non-pro skaters, though.
Yeah, because Svedback didn't play. They get back into action tomorrow, I believe, and then Jake Schmaltz. They had an exhibition game on Saturday, and there's no video on that, so I didn't get to see it.
Okay. Well, we got about half an hour left. We've got some Providence guys to touch on here.
Yeah, Sunday, there really isn't too much to talk about Sunday because they got blown out 5-1. So we'll do that one real quick. Max Jones scored a minute something into the game, and they lose 5-1. Hershey outshot Providence 33-19. Brandon Bussey was okay. Stopped 28 of 33 shots in the loss. So that takes care of Sunday.
So, real quick, because I remember we were talking about that one right before the show. I got to get your thoughts on this because this was the game that they did their annual teddy bear toss in Hershey. Mike's got a question about players using iPads, so I'm going to take 2 seconds real quick and divert. One, what did you think of the teddy bear toss, the record that they set for Hershey? And 2, as Michael asks, what are your thoughts on players using iPads on the bench to review plays? Are you a fan of it or not? I'll let you go first, Dom.
Teddy bear toss, I love him. I mean, it's been happening for years and years and years in the OHL. I'm always amazed, like arenas that hold less than 9,000 fans are collecting upwards of 14, 15,000 stuffed animals. So it was great to see. I actually had somebody ask me about it who wasn't aware of teddy bear tosses. And I said, no, this is a planned thing. It's been happening for decades in junior hockey. And usually they do it for a charity so that kids in need will have a gift under the tree for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it. Why Hershey did it Sunday, I don't know. I don't follow Hershey. I don't know what their reasoning is. Maybe they didn't have a home game at Christmas time.
I think it was a combination of that and the fact that they were waiting for a larger crowd because their goal is to continually set the world record, which they did reset. I got the media the media announcement. The exact count at the end of it was 102,343 teddy bears and stuffed animals.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, actually, there's a great picture. Let me see if I can get that real quick to pop up because, well, while I do that, why don't you answer Michael's question about players using iPads on the bench?
I'm all for players using iPads on the bench. It's a learning experience. And for coaches with players, a teaching moment for them. Yeah, they can do it after the game or the next day when they break down video, but that ain't helping you for the rest of the game. If you see that there's something the player isn't doing, or how they should be doing it, you want to teach them at the moment, not the next day when you're in a classroom, so to speak, breaking down video.
Real quick, this is the video that they use for, or a photo that they use for the press release for the record. So great to just see the players have fun with it. So Curious mentions Milton S. Hershey is my favorite business person. He didn't just start a company, he founded a town with a hockey team, which is a great way of putting it. And I agree with you when it comes to the iPads. Craig Eagles, our friend, we shouted him out early. Craig, I hope you saw that when we were talking about your buddy Loke Johansson. He says that you're exactly right. iPads provide great instant feedback, 100%. Michael then follows it up with, at what level do players start to use iPads on the bench?
They use it in junior A. They use it in junior. I have not seen a team in Ontario use it at the AAA level, or now known as the under 18s. Craig, maybe it's different in on the East Coast. If they do, just let us know in the comments there.
I was going to say any league that a team and a coach is willing to pay for it, really.
I go to
the video.
I go to a lot of junior B games too, and well, yeah, but here in Stratford. But I've never seen them once pull an iPad out on on the bench, and you can find those games online as well. So they're being streamed.
Yeah, so Craig says U18, AAA, some here, just depends on the organization. So organizational dependent, I guess. But any organization that finds the tool helpful clearly uses it, and it definitely, as instant feedback, you can't beat it. So anyway, sorry to divert us from Providence. I know that was the Sunday game. I thought it was hilarious to see the big burly guys diving in, having fun. I mean, it's all in fun. It's a good reminder of what the hockey community really can do for people. And I thought it was well handled by the fact that they just went to the locker room after, had their normal intermission, came back, played the last 5 and change of the first period. The horn goes off, they switch sides and say, all right, period number 2, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the game on Saturday night.
Yeah, so this game, I don't want to say got nasty, but got questionable at some point. Michael DiPietro was run a few times by Hershey. By the way, Hershey won 4-3 in a shootout. But it's not like the Bruins didn't do it at the other end as well. There were a lot of late hits, a lot of high hits. Actually, Matt Patra missed some time with a high hit. I don't know whether it was concussion protocol. It may have been, but I haven't seen anybody mention it, and the team certainly won't mention it. Yeah, got a little bit nasty at times. DiPietro stopped 31 to 34 shots, stopped 3 of 4 in the shootout, went 4 rounds. Our friend Brett Harrison needed to score to keep alive, but unfortunately the Bruins couldn't get one past the goaltender in the shootout. Hershey got off to a 3-0 lead in the first period until Patrick Brown, who has really, really been playing well and helping the guys along, got one back before the first period would end. Vinny Lettieri and Fabian Lysell draw the assists. Do we have a highlight of that one, Chris?
No, the first one I have is Tufte goal.
Yeah.
Tufte's goal, and then Lettieri.
Yeah, so Tufte would score halfway through the second. 10th of the season. This guy's got 10 goals already in Providence. And let me just see. That is second behind Vinny Lettieri. John Farinacci and Billy Sweezy with the assists. I really love how Farinacci is coming on. Has 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 points in 23 games. So he's really coming on. That's a guy I said probably deserves a call-up at some point. Mentioned it on last week's show when now, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So since that show went out, other people are talking about calling Farinacci up for a glimpse.
Yeah, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago on the show, shortly before Fabian Lysell got his call up. We fully expect some guys to get rotational games.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect anybody, barring injury, to come up and get a 10-game run. But a game here, a game there, sprinkle them into the lineup. As we talked about yesterday, Providence is your depth right now. So if you have a bottom 6 guy in your lineup, a fourth-line guy, get hurt, you're not going to call up Fabian Lysell. You're going to call up a Patrick Brown or John Farinacci or Riley Tufte, someone like that. If you have a top 6 player get hurt, that's when you're going to see a Georgi Merkulov or Matthew Potter or Fabian Lysell called up. I wonder and I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not, Dom, but for Lysel's call-up, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's just because his family was in town. They were doing him a solid, whatever. I'm curious because that was right around when David Pastrnak was potential to miss a game or two on that road trip, and they had just gotten back from it. So
I think that's the biggest reason. I think being a home game and his parents being here is a reason. It was only one game because, and I said this last night, they were not going to throw him. I don't care what the New York Rangers were playing like. They were not going to throw Fabian Lysell into the fire at Madison Square Garden and whatever they're calling Maple Leaf Gardens today, Scotiabank Center.
yeah,
Just wasn't going to. Two of the most difficult arenas to go in and play in wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, my thought is they looked at what was going on with Pastrnak. They said, we need someone here in case he can't go. They place the call. They call him up, and then they go, okay, Pasternak's going to be in the lineup. Well, we've already called the kid up. We've already redirected his entire family to Boston. Is there a way that you can still get him into the lineup? Yes, let's throw him on the third line, see what he can do. They give him the opportunity. He plays great, and they just say to him afterwards, thank you so much for the call-up. Glad that you were able to get almost an assist on that first goal.
Chris, the telltale is they sent Mark McLaughlin down that same morning and called him back up.
Exactly.
Obviously, Pastrnak was a question mark. There's no need to go on about it. Fans can think what they want to think.
and they will. So appreciate the compliment here from Curious Browser, who also asks, are there any gamers from Providence who we will see in Boston and take a spot this year or next? I don't think anybody in Providence is going to come up and take a spot. I mean, I guess maybe Mark McLaughlin, because Joe Sacco really seems to like him on that fourth line. But I don't know if that's really taking a spot from Koepke or not.
No, there has to be an injury for somebody to come up. Nobody's going to come up and win a spot at this point.
But I will say I do have the Tufty goal queued up if you want to walk us through that one real quick here.
Honestly, I don't remember it. It's like I've watched so much hockey.
It really is a quick one right in front. He does a nice little toe drag move there to bring it net front. He gets the pass right there, comes around, and just complete screen of the goalie.
I have to laugh at Gail from Nesson, who tweeted a picture because she was watching the Bruins game. I believe it was last night. The Bruins game last night, and then the Bruins Classic.
Yes, I saw that.
I forget when and she shows a picture of her TV, 2 TVs, and I wanted to take a picture of my screens here and say, yeah, try following this many games at once. I thought I couldn't do that to poor Gail.
No, I will say this: the worst I've done, and trust me, my girlfriend's giving me some looks on this one, is I will have split screen on 2 monitors and have 4 games going at once. I've done that.
Oh, geez. I could double my games.
You could, yeah. Just the screens will be a lot smaller. So.
Oh well, I can't do that.
I've gotten the looks on that one of like, really, that's what we're doing. So.
Yeah. So Lettieri tied the game. I don't think I sent you that one.
This is the one on Saturday, right? Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah. Yeah, set up by Georgie McHugh and Jeffrey Vale.
This one here, right? Cuts across.
Oh, yeah,
drives
the shot.
to the net. Drives right to the net. Was it? Okay, I just got my answer. Yeah. Keep in mind that Hunter Shepard is a solid goaltender for Hershey. Like, this is someone who's been a top AHL goaltender, considered to be for quite a while now. So we'll just let it play back through one more time here. But I mean, the key here, what do we say? Drive the net.
Yeah.
Look, as he drives to the net, the shot goes off, and he just beats the defender to the rebound. Shepard didn't do anything wrong in the block. It came right out, and his defender didn't find it. So,
Yeah. You know what? We would all take a Boston Bruin doing that right now.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's that's the frustrating part. It's because we know they know how to do it.
Yep.
But
That's what sucks.
you can't fire the whole team, as they say.
No, they did fire the one guy they could fire, though.
Yeah. Do you think the coaching bump is over?
Like I said last night, it's an execution problem.
I wouldn't mind seeing them rotate in some of these kids because, one, just the way they're playing right now, they deserve it. We talked about it a little while back, but right now they're in 4th place in the Atlantic, behind Hershey, who's in 1st place. But they just got the split. They just had those couple games there. They're 1 point behind Wilkes-Barre Scranton and 2 points behind Charlotte. So they're driving up 3 points behind Charlotte, but they're driving up the standings chart, and they're playing very, very well.
Yeah. You want to quickly go over who's hot and who's cold and who's anywhere in between, and
yeah, I'll let you kick us off with who do you want to start with?
let's start with the guys that are hot right now. I'm just going to look at the non-pros, not the guys in the American Hockey League, because we basically know who they are. Matthew Poitras, John Farinacci, Georgi Merkulov, Fabian Lysell.
You know, real quick, just because you're mentioning those guys, and the immediate thought that I had was the bench rates rating that we've talked about before. I'd love to see the bench rate ratings on some of these guys that are non-pros.
For those that don't know what bench rates is, it's what is it? Benchrates.com, Chris?
Yes.
Or is it? Yeah. Benchrates.com. It's a former hockey player who helped create an algorithm to determine a player's financial value to the team. So, for instance, we know what Georgi Merkulov's contract is worth. I believe it's $925,000 in the NHL and $80,000 in the AHL.
That
is
sounds
playing
about right.
to a $568,000 value. Let's see if I can find Matthew Poitras.
I was just pulling his up. In fact,
Poitras is playing at a $572,000 value.
I was
Going
going to
down
say, we'll ask
to-
for forgiveness on this later.
Yeah. Oh no, he won't mind. He won't
I
mind.
figured as much.
Michael DiPietro's playing at a $859,000 value compared to Brandon Bussey at $124,000. Honestly, I can tell people that I really believe in what they've created here. The numbers match the eye test. If you can do it by team, Chris, there, just type in Providence Bruins, bring them up, and click on Power Score and or value, I believe it is. And
The value right here.
No, player value.
Player rating.
Or player ratings.
Right here. Okay.
I am telling you, this is very accurate. I personally don't understand how the dollar value works, but if you want to know which player is providing the most benefit to the team, go to benchrates.com, click on Providence Bruins, and the dollar value will tell you who is performing the best. And you know what? Every single call-up the Boston Bruins have made this season basically plays out like this in terms of value.
I mean, with the exception of Lettieri, you've got Merkulov, Brown, Tufte, Liesel in the top 5 right now.
Yeah. Even McLaughlin was playing just a shade under $500,000 when he got called up.
Yep. We've seen a little bit of VL in the National Hockey League. I think 1 or 2 games. So obviously he's performing better in the American Hockey League. But yeah, I mean, overall, they're doing a great job with it. And I will say, real quick, the curious browser's question: what is that using a Vetrano contract for this year? It remains the same. For a deferred contract, that's a totally different calculation that no one wants to do. So we're just not going to.
Yeah, it's boy, the difference between the Vetrano one and what's his name in Carolina.
Was it Natchez?
No, they signed the same type of deal.
It wasn't Natchez. It was oh, now you're gonna make me go look. Not immediate one that came to mind was Slavin, but that's not him. No, it was who was it? So someone in the comments throw it up there because I know I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Because immediately it went to Jesper Fast. That wasn't it.
No, the difference is the one in Carolina was on signing bonuses, and Vetrano's was on actual salary.
Yeah.
So it's his salary that's being deferred, not signing bonuses. So,
but deferred for 10 years and then paid out over 10 years. Like,
yeah.
Definitely a nifty bit of contract because my understanding with Anaheim is as much as they want to be competitive, they're trying to do it without spending a lot of cash on the upfront end. So nifty work right there.
Yeah.
Curious also mentions Montreal is up on Vancouver, which is probably not the best option for Boston right now. I would take a Montreal loss. He says that I wanted to get a look at that Dobish kid tonight. I don't know if he got the start or not. I thought he got it yesterday. So I don't know if he's in again tonight, but man, Montreal may be a team to be careful of. That would help Canadian teams like it helps Vetrano in California. Yeah, it honestly the deferred salary, Dom, might be an avenue that gets explored as a way to help with the whole state income tax quote-unquote advantage.
That's why it was done in there, is to beat the tax system.
There you go. So, and then, Mutombo is in. So, Dobish got the start yesterday. That kid looks real good for Montreal. He's given up 1 goal in 2 starts. And it just, if Mutombo can keep it up, then woof, that's going to be a very interesting Montreal battle going forward for the division. But I derailed the whole thing when we were talking about who's hot and who's not. I apologize profusely to you, Dom.
Oh, my God. There's a hockey game on, and I forgot all about it.
Who's playing?
College.
That's
Quinnipiac
okay.
is playing, so I'll have to...
do you want the good news?
What?
We got like 5 minutes left, and then you can go watch the game.
Well, I'll have to start it over.
That's okay.
I didn't know they were playing tonight. Well, that pisses me off. Where's my schedule?
Do you want me to let you go so you can go watch it now? I mean, again,
I got. Remember, I just got in the door just before we started recording. I still have to eat.
Oh yeah. So do you want to fly through real quick? Who's hot? Who's not for us, and then we'll let the folks head out. Go watch Quinnipiac.
So obviously Don's Mellis, which we talked about, 2 goals, 6 assists in his last 10. Andre Gassot, 7 goals, 1 assist in his last 10. Chris Pelosi's on a 3-game goal scoring streak. Cole Spicer, a goal and 5 assists in his last 5. And Philip Svedback with 6 consecutive wins. Obviously, who's cold? Casper Nason, pointless in 10 games. Dean Letourneau, pointless in 9 games. Who else? Elliot Grongwald is pointless in 9 games. Christian Kostadinsky, although it happened this weekend, 1 goal, 1 assist in his last 10 games. Jonathan Morello is pointless in 10 games. They're the cold ones, and there's some guys in the middle like Ryan Walsh, 5 goals, 3 assists in his last 10. I got to throw Mason Langenbrunner in there, 3 goals in his last 10 games. And Oscar Yelvik, a goal and 5 assists in his last 8. And Ty Gallagher, 2 goals, 4 assists in his last 10.
Yeah, I'm glad to see he's picking it back up because he was on that cold list for a couple weeks in there.
Yeah.
So glad to see he's turning it back on and getting back to where he was. A little bit less than a point per game right now, but I'm not going to complain about it.
No.
If you get, I will say, if you guys get a chance to check out even tonight's Quinnipiac game, I mean, they're fun to watch. They're worth it. It's a lot more fun to be able to enjoy when you know who you're looking for, and they do a great job on the broadcasts too. I know that's some people's concern. The broadcast isn't so good. It's not professional. No, they do a great job. So check them out, watch them. But we're always here to give you the updates and kind of break down.
Chris,
what
do
you're
you
seeing.
know in the States? Can they do a monthly or is it charged? I know in Canada you have to purchase the whole year.
No, so ESPN Plus carries all the NCAA men's games. They do the men's, women's games. I know they do some of the IIHF, but they did not have the World Juniors. So if you've cut the cable,
Lost you. There you go.
So the IIHF World Juniors is on NHL Network, and so if you
Lost you again.
mics are dying, and it's 8:00, so check them out. Thanks for watching us here. Brought to you by Ice. Ice Shaker's going to kill me.
Yes.
My last thought is